What's up guys, and welcome back to another Saucey gaming news. This week there's been some interesting news. So, to start off with, Tony Hawk's Remaster 1 and 2 I believe it is currently out. As far as I've heard, it's pretty good in terms of remasters. Look, the Tony Hawk series has always been one of them that I've loved. I've said time and time again on this show that me and my friend used to play it when we was younger, and to see it remastered, it's definitely a game I'm going to pick up, mainly for nostalgia, because skating games and stuff like that aren't my thing, but just to feel what it was like to play them old games, like I say, definitely be picking that one up. On from there, we're going to talk a little bit about Apex Legends. So, when Apex Legends Season 6 came out, they sort of buffed the weapons in a way by nerfing the armor. So all the armor got a 25 sort of reduction on the sort of total body count, or the body armor that it can take in terms of damage. Well, people outcried and they said, look, we hate this basically, and they've reverted it. So the armor's back to taking, or being able to take, more damage, but the Evo armor, if you play Apex Legends you'll know what I'm talking about, is still there. And then in terms of Apex as well, crossplay could be coming out as early as September. So what are we in September now? So it could be coming out this month. They said, I believe it'd be coming out fall, which in America is any time, sort of now, but some data mined and stuff like that, they reckon it could be around about the 15th of September. I wouldn't put money on it, but I don't know, it'd be good to see. I don't play Apex anymore purely because I don't have anyone to play it with. I usually play stuff with my little brother, so yeah. Oh, and bear in mind I've got my fan on and everything. It's pretty warm today, so if you hear a murring in the background, you know why. On from there, The Witcher 3 is getting a free next-gen upgrade. So if you own The Witcher 3, which I'm sure pretty much everyone does, you can now completely free play it when the PS5 and Xbox Series X come out. So at least I suppose there's a game to play on the Series X. Super Mario All-Stars as well is another really big one, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So, for ages now there's been leaks and rumours saying that there's going to be a 3D Mario collection sort of brought together, and no one was 100% sure which games it would be, but it's now been confirmed that Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy 1, not the second one, which is weird. I thought we could have thrown that in, or I'm sure they'll probably release it some other way, but it's been announced at a Nintendo Direct, and it's got some controversy because it's limited time only, which is just weird. Why? Like, if they've come out and said, look, you can get these three games in a great bundle together, I'm guessing hopefully with improved control schemes, because, you know, as great as they all are, like Super Mario 64, going back now, it feels dated. It's still a marvellous game, but I would hope they would at least update the sensitivity, stuff like that, and then also slight maybe graphical updates, but that's not really why you're playing them. You're playing them for the nostalgia. You know, Mario Sunshine it's so underrated. You know, it is really underrated. It was a great game. But, yeah, they came out and they've said you can get all three of these for 60 quid, which is a great deal. 3 amazing games, especially on Nintendo's part, is cheap. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd come out and said 180 quid. You know, you're paying us 60 quid for each of them. But they also said that, like I say, it's limited time. So, only for, I don't know, 6 months or something are you going to be able to pick it up, and after that it's gone, which makes me think two things. So first of all, they're doing it because at the end of it they're then going to release them all separately for 60 quid, which is something I could see Nintendo doing all day long. Here you go, it is Mario 64 pays £60, or they're maybe cheeky, £64. See what I did there? But yeah, I just find it ridiculous. You'd release it, you want hard copies, you want digital copies. I would buy another Nintendo Switch. I sold my old one, I'd buy one purely to play these games. That is how much people want these games. people, you know, emulation is great nowadays. Even on, I've got PlayStation Classic, I could play Mario 64 on that no problem, but it's just not the same, you know. Playing on an emulation, even if it is a port, I would love to see the little changes they make, and I don't know, I just can't understand why they're selling it as a collection for limited time. You'd have it 24/7, wouldn't you? But hey, and then also on that direct, the only, I would say, other kind of interesting thing I saw, like there was loads of interesting things, don't get me wrong, but they've come out and said that there's like a Super Mario Battle Royale where, because it was like the 35th anniversary or something, there's going to be 35 players, and the way it's going to work is similar to how Tetris Battle Royale 1 worked, where all your players, you can kind of see them all next to you, and they're all playing, you'll be playing one level, so the level will be chosen, you go in, and it's kind of elimination. So if you get killed in that level, you're out, whatever, but there's also like abilities you can use to affect other players' screens and all sorts. It looks interesting. Is it going to be a cash grab? I'm not sure. Like, it's such a cool idea, don't get me wrong, but at this point, Battle Royale is so scraping the barrel. I don't know why every company feels the need to be like, look, we've got some Battle Royale going on, you know. I don't know, it's FIFA Battle Royale, can you imagine? It's just, I don't know. I think there's other really good things they could have done with it, even going that online route, because we've never really had that before. We've got Super Mario Maker, amazing, but we've never had the ability to be able to kind of go against other people, and the idea is cool, to be on the same level, go against people, see if you can get further maybe. That is good, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It might come out and be best game ever made in existence ever, and I'll be eating my words. But yeah, it's a cautionate one to say the least. And then on from there is Marvel Avengers was released with mixed reviews. Really mixed reviews, and by mixed I mean people are saying it's either awful or it's pretty amazing. The issue I have with this game, and I love Marvel, I've watched every single Marvel film ever made, even the old bad ones, like the really bad ones, like Fantastic Four from like 1970 or something. It's bad, but everything Marvel does I love. And then this game was released and they hyped us all up. People were like, oh, I don't know what to think, the character designs are a bit weird, but they hyped us up and I was hyped. I so nearly pre-ordered as well. I was like looking at the screen thinking, I've got it ready here, I can press one button and pre-order this game, and it's done. I chose not to, and I'm happy I didn't. Look, people have said this is kind of like Destiny with Marvel characters, and I understand that. I don't mind it being like a games as a service game, which, as scummy as it is, it can work, don't get me wrong. I don't mind having a game that gets bought out and you pay for, and then getting all this sort of DLC on top. It's fine. I would prefer it to be free DLC, but if the DLC is like another 60 hours of content, I'll pay for it all day long. The Witcher 3, best example ever. You get The Witcher 3, you've got 600 hours of content easily, and then they come out with the Blood and Wine DLC, another 300 hours of content, and it's like, that is how you do it. 15 quid for DLC that they've worked on and put so much time and effort in, you'd be stupid not to buy it. But with this Marvel's Avengers, there's been, how do I put it, there's been stories that there's going to be battle passes for every character. What? Like paid battle pass, so you pay 60 quid, okay. And then the future DLC where characters come in. So just an example, Spider-Man. This is all speculation, this little bit. I don't know if Spider-Man's going to be the next character, but Spider-Man comes in, and the way you unlock him is through a battle pass. So you have to then pay $8.99 or whatever it is for a battle pass nowadays, and you have to work through the battle pass, and at level 100 you get the character. What? They reckon there's going to be like 30 odd characters coming. Now you do the math, right? So 30 characters and you're spending basically a tenner on each. right? And for 60 quid, they're expecting you to be able to unlock all the content that the game is going to bring to spend £360. Obviously, it'd probably be about 340 because it's not exactly a tenner each, but that is absolutely fucking ludicrous. That is, honestly, it's disgusting. And the fact that people aren't outcrying more and saying that this needs to be gone, just fucking get rid of it, is sickening. I don't understand how you can go so wrong. People say the fight, and again, I haven't tried this game. I will be trying it soon, and I'm sure I'll let you guys know how I feel on it, but look, it's Marvel, okay? They did it with Spider-Man so well. They basically took the Batman Arkham games, made it Spider-Man, and made it excellent. Why couldn't you have got the fighting systems out of the Arkham games, or similar? I know it's different companies, everything, but similar to that, and made it like that, because that's how it looks, and people say that's similar enough to how it feels. But then apparently there's issues with like the Hulk. People just do not want to play him. And I understand why. You look at trailers, you look at gameplay, and the Hulk is this big behemoth of a person who, in comics, literally is almost indestructible, and the angrier he gets, the stronger and bigger he gets. That is what I want to play as in the game. What I don't want to play as is a big green pillow man that hits people with pillows, because he's like throwing punches down at just soldiers, just little tiny people, and he's hitting them 4, 5, 6 times, and it's like, oh, they're getting back up, and I'm thinking, what? You know, if you're going to put the Hulk in, at least give the enemies that he's fighting a reason why they're not taking as much damage. Don't just be like, oh, well, we've got to make all the characters even, so here's the Hulk, he hits you with pillows. It's stupid. Apparently Black Widow and possibly Captain America, I can't 100% remember, apparently they're the best to use just because they feel normal, and that is wrong, you know, because Black Widow's a cool character, but you're not playing Avengers to play as Black Widow, are you? You're playing to play as Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk. You want to play as these amazing godlike men, but no, it's like, here you go, here's a woman in a skin tight suit, and her powers are literally non-existent because she doesn't have any, and yeah, she will put the most time and effort into her. It's stupid. The whole games as a service thing can work well, and if it's a free to play game, give me a battle pass every single season, I'll buy into it. I've got no issue buying into a battle pass, no issue at all. But when games like Call of Duty come out and they go, look, you pay us £60 and then we're going to stick a battle pass on top of it, fuck off out of here with that. I get that there's Warzone now and you want to work through the battle pass on Warzone, that's fine, but before Warzone was even out they had a battle pass, and it's disgusting. As a company, you should not be including battle passes in £60 games, and people don't understand how much money that is, right? 60 quid. As a kid, I used to get games from my dad. So my dad would come home and he'd say, look, you know, maybe one of my friends was selling some PS3 games, and it'd be, I wouldn't get to pick, it'd be, here you go, here's a game. It could have been anything from SingStar to, you know, Sleeping Dogs. Who knows what it was going to be at that point. But he'd come home, I remember one day he brought home Lego Indiana Jones, and he got it for like £1 or something, and I played through that game to completion because it was the only game I had. And at that time I couldn't have spent 60 quid. I remember the first purchase I spent myself was on FIFA 14, and I'd saved up money for quite literally like 2.5 years, from like getting £1 a week or something in pocket money. I'd saved it, and I went down to Tesco's. He took me down to Tesco's in the morning, I bought it. I think at the time it was actually like 40 quid, and I was like, wow, man, I got to finally open a brand new packet, and it was amazing. Nowadays, obviously, I'm a bit more privileged. When you grow up, you can obviously afford a few more things. I'm able to actually buy a game a month now, but you think 60 quid is a lot of money. 60 quid, I could feed my family for a month on a stretch 60 quid budget. So that's a lot of money. And certainly for younger people, you know, 16 to 18 year olds, 60 quid is a shit ton. And to then be like, well, we want another £300 in total over the next 200 years, over the next 2 years, when all these characters come out, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. I won't talk about it anymore, it winds me up. I will give it a shot this week sometime, but no, it's wrong. If you're a gaming company and happen to see this, for the love of fucking shit, man, just stop with charging us for battle passes on paid games and extra. I don't mind DLC. Put some effort into it though. Don't be like, oh, give me £2.99 so you can have, you know, a shiny gold sword instead of the standard silver one. It's like, what bullshit is that, man? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, moving on from there, the PS5, it's come out, I believe Ubisoft kind of leaked something accidentally, saying that the PS5 is only going to be able to be backwards compatible with the PS4. And everyone is flipping the lid over this. They're all saying, oh, I want to be able to play PS1 games on a PS5. And it'd be cool, don't get me wrong, it'd be a cool feature. And Xbox, I will give them props because they do it well. You've got full backwards compatibility. Good job, Xbox. You get 1 point. But you're buying a PS, you know, if you're sat there and you're like, oh, I really want a PS5, a PlayStation 5, a 2020 console with the best hardware you've ever seen ever out of a PlayStation, and I want it to be able to play Spyro on the PS1, and it's like, why though? Like, yeah, these vintage games are great. Like I say, I've got a PlayStation Classic and I like to go back and I'll play these games, but if someone said to me, what would you rather play? PS1 games for the rest of your life or PS4 and PS5 games? It's a no-brainer. You pick the new games, don't you, that look better, that play better, that feel better. But when people are complaining that they can't play, you know, Lego Star Wars on a PS5 from the original PS2, it's like, well, there's multiple choices. For one, 99% of good games get remade anyway. For example, Ape Escape, you can download that, like the PS4 version, and pay for it for like £4. So if you was that needing to do it, you know, you would have to go out if you wanted to play the PS1 version and spend like, it's like £25 for the original PS1 version, or you play the PS4 version for £4. It's the exact same, if not better like sort of sensitivities and everything, but yeah, it's not something to complain about. It would have been a cool feature, but people aren't really going to use it. Other than when there's a spare PS2 game you find, you think, oh, maybe I'll give it a quick crack. You play it for 10 minutes, you come off. It's not that much of an issue. It would have been an issue if you couldn't play PS4 games. I would understand that, but you know, it's how it is. They've clearly wanted to focus on bigger and better things, and it looks like it's going their way. Because in recent sort of forecasts as well, from I can't tell who it is. I haven't actually got it written down to remember it. I believe it was going like 79% towards PlayStation at the minute. So, you know, Xbox has its backwards compatibility, has its whole service thing with amazing games in it, but that is it. You know, you throw teraflops at people. This is what's really funny. People are like, oh, but the Xbox is the superior console because it's got 12.4 teraflops and the PS5's only got 11.7, and it's like, do any of you even know what a fucking teraflop is? Like, people hear a number and they're like, well, that has more numbers, so that has to be better. Look, I could sit here and talk about SSD, teraflops, all this. Just know that both consoles are going to be so similar in terms of everything, you are not going to notice. You're more likely to notice the fact that the PS5 is going to have a better SSD. The loading times are going to be non-existent nearly. And, you know, people are going to sit there with their Xbox, you know, and they're going to use it as a shelf to store things on. Whereas the PS5 is going to be a feature piece that you put there and you go, yeah, I've got a fucking PS5. You better know I've spent £600 on a PS5. That's just how it is. Anyway, it's been quite a blabbering episode. To end it on, I'm going to start a new section. So at the end of every episode, we're going to have a little discussion. And this week, the discussion and the question is, what is better? And I want all you guys, if you watch to the end, to answer in the comments what you prefer. Or not, or just think about it. You don't even have to answer, just sit back and think. What would you prefer? High FPS, but a low resolution, or a lower FPS, maybe 30 FPS, and a high resolution? Now, I say this because some games, I believe the Ratchet and Clank game, they've come out and said that there is going to be like a 120 FPS version, and there's also going to be a locked 30 version. Like 30 FPS is the minimum. Anything under that is like, for me nowadays, I just won't play. Like if you're dropping down to like 10, 15 FPS, for example, Fallout 4, looking at you, I played that game, 100% of that game, got all the trophies, and the only issue I ever had with it was the awful frame rate. I mean, it was like walking through mud. It's annoying, but yeah, 30 frames per second is what most people play at on today's console. Now and again there's games come out that are 60 FPS, but most of the time you're looking at 30 FPS, and you don't really notice that much of a difference until you play a 60 FPS game, and then you're like, wow, I was playing on 30 before? That's mental. But obviously if you're playing at 120 FPS, there's going to be graphical sort of not issues, but you're going to have to bring graphics down. It may no longer be 4K, it may be at 1080p. I would rather have a stable frame rate, in all honesty. I'd rather play a game on, 120 FPS and it feel like just silky smooth, and have the frame rate at like 520p. I genuinely would. I'd rather the game look kind of crap and play really well compared to having it, 8K but at 30 FPS. I really would. But I'd like to know what you guys think. This has been the Saucy Gaming News this week. If you guys enjoy, as always, and if any of you have actually listened to me for 21 minutes, well done. I don't know, in the comments section, just put a big finished. If you watched it all, in the comment section I want you to write finished. Or no, scrap that. If you watched it all, in the comment section I want you to write pickle. Boom. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot always. Check out my other videos. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.